Good morning, friends. This is Corky, the Plum Creek Booksmith, and I'm back again with a brand new journal. Happy New Year, and I hope you had a really wonderful Christmas time as well. This is a Chunky Monkey, and I think it was made by a little girl, and she took her mama's doily, embroidered doily, and some of these other fancy cutwork items, and she covered her book covers that she got from her dad after he read a novel, and she made a cloth spine, and there are 5 signatures. She was quite an ambitious young lady. I'm thinking she was probably around 12 or 13 when she made this, and she just stuffed it full of everything she found around the house. She put a nice pretty green seam binding on it. It's a doubled seam binding, and made a pretty bow. And there's even extra seam binding if the new owner wants to cut some and put on for tabs and tags and things like that. So get ready. She's big, and like I said, she's chunky. You have to squeeze her to tie her shut. But she's got all kinds of yummy papers, book pages. She's got some ledger pages and some digital printing and lots of fun ephemera, either made or authentic. So I'm going to try to get through this pretty quick because she's big. And like I said, she's 5 signatures with, I think there's between 8 and 10 pages within, and I forgot to count the pages. And I don't think I have a ruler down here to measure, but it's a pretty standard book that she was made from. So I'm guessing, let's see, maybe 7.5, 8 by 5.5 perhaps, and probably a 2.5 inch spine. And the pages are sewn in with what did I use? I think I used 5-hole pamphlet. Yeah, 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay, I'm gonna go quick. There's a pocket made from an old drafting tool envelope, and it was long, so there's the one part here and one half of it over here on the back, and so it made a really nice sized pocket. And I put flesh guard in the front and the back, and little envelopes or little pockets that hold little cat. They're both cats. One is a pocket and one is a card. Okay. And then this is just a little label that I printed on encyclopedia page, and then I just put some whitewash here so that you could write on it if you wanted. There's a tab here with a cross charm. Sorry, the lighting isn't great. Okay, and then there's a little label here. This is some iris paper. This is penmanship, a page out of a penmanship book. And this is an old, probably 1940s arithmetic book. Page out of a book. Put a piece of trim here. Well, actually, it's eyelet fabric cut down into a manageable size. An old recipe card, bridge score pad paper, and then there's some eyelet trim here. Lots of space to write still. Some pages I covered with more writing space. This is a book page from a tall Rose's book, and it was shiny, so I I matted it. I used some matte sealer on it, and it even made it a little cloudy, which is nice, and it doesn't feel slick or anything like that anymore. And then on the back, I covered it with this piece of ledger paper. Tuck this little piece of, it's a flight plan form page. And then I have it tucked in here, and then to keep it from falling out, I put a little silver bobby pin here, and then there's a little tuck spot here for this little label, fancy label. And then back here is another pocket, and I put my little butterfly message here, and there's an old what is that called? Flashcard. These are homemade flashcards that I found somewhere along the line. And then I made these little cards that look like mini Polaroid pictures. I shouldn't say I did this. This little girl did this. Maybe the little girl in me did this. I need some coffee. Sorry. A little slurp. That'll do it. A little extra writing space here. And I folded that page over on itself and made a pocket. Here's an old stamp, postage stamp. And then this is a pretty little girl, picture of a pretty little girl. Maybe it's my sister, you know, back in the day. And she just goes here. She was a lot older than me, and that's her graduation picture. Bird book page. And then this page folds up on itself, makes a little tuck spot, and this is an authentic, I think it's just like what's left after you tear out a check, and that's where the check was for $5.80 to Coca-Cola something company. So that's that. There's just lots of pages. This is pretty. And then this little rose card and some Mad Money. It's 100 grand. So heck, you're gonna have 100 grand plus, because there's more money in here if you buy this. So just think of the money you'll gain when you buy this book. And this page is, this original page was from like a pattern book. And I just copy stained it, and it was just perfect for this book, for this journal. Another little label card there. And then this is an old needle book from Cook's Paints. Probably got it at your drugstore. At least that's where, when I was a little girl, paints and wallpaper were upstairs from the all-purpose drugstore that had a soda fountain and everything. So it was kind of like a modern-day Walmart. You could get anything there. Downtown. It was awesome. Here's another bridge score pad, and I put it on a book page that didn't allow you to write anything on. So this is your opportunity to write. And then this is an old daybook page for March 3rd and March 2nd. Here's a pretty little angel card. And then this is an authentic envelope with, I think it's a Christmas card inside. It's dated December 1940. And so there's a Christmas card in there. Another mulberry, is it mulberry? Yeah, it's mulberry. Did I call it raspberry? Mulberry paper. And it has a little snippet of fabric, and it's pinned with a rusty T-pin up there. Another page from that old arithmetic book. This was the table of contents for some brochure, and so I left the little lines there, you know, so that gives you some lines to write on. This is more of the penmanship paper. There's a tab made out of cloth here, and it has a pretty little bauble on it. And there's a pocket that looks like an old fan with another rose card. This page is out of a typing book, typing manual. And then I just put some pink strips of paper here to write on. This is from a Swedish grammar book. These are the receipts on the inside of, I think it was like another check manual, or check, whatever. Checks were off this way, and this is where you would write. And it says it's from 1890 something. It's pretty old. I glued, wait, no. Yeah, I glued this paper onto this mulberry paper, and then I put little flowers on. She put little flowers on, that little girl. And then she put this cute little girl here, and she put some little cards here. These are for penmanship and spelling. More of the arithmetic book. And then after I put this page into this book, I realized that it was doubled when I put it in. So there's double of the old handwriting paper that we had in elementary school. And here's another of her mom's bobby pins, and it holds this closed, just a little extra place to write. And this flips open, and it's an envelope with what? Oh, here's a chocolate milk bottle cap. And then this is from an old needle book, and I made a little extra journal inside there with just blank pages. Just gives you extra room to write, and it's tied shut with some red twine. And the top is decorated with this old lace tablecloth snippet. I have this page covered with some graph paper. Here's some more money and an old brittle index card. So don't try to bend it or anything, just write on it. It's kind of brittle. And then I put a little bow on this little girl. And she's the pocket. And then this page folds out. And then there's my thank you card. And here's a couple checks from the Bank of Brady. I like the color of it. And like I said, these are doubled. More of the arithmetic paper, or book page. This is part of a book page. And then I covered the other side of that book page and made a pocket. And so there's a little envelope here, and it has all kinds of authentic ephemera inside it. There's some tickets. There's some flashcards for, I think it's Spanish and French, I believe. So that goes back in there. Cute little bunny rabbit. I'm going to make some more of these. I keep telling myself I'm going to do a digital of those little images, and I just never get it done. Another little, you can use this as a tuck. It's held on by this heavy-duty masking tape. A little angel card. This is a 1949 page out of a day book. There's another calendar page. A blank check from the Bank of, or to the Bank of Crofton. It says, to Bank of Crofton. Okay. Flip up there, flip over. Another little cross charm. More coffee, please. Thank you. I'm the first one up today, so I haven't done a whole lot of talking or yelling at my hubby. That always does it. You know, I'm waiting to yell at him to get rid of this frog in my throat. And then there's an old picture of a little farmstead, little house in the country. Isn't that pretty? Looks almost like a sod house. No, it's got stone. It's all wrapped in stone. And that might be, I think that might be more of a barn. No, I think it's a house. It's a house. And then this is the title page for a book, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Rusty paperclip. And then there's another envelope. And I think, yep, there's a Christmas card inside. It's very lightweight. I was almost thinking it might be empty. And the rusted paper clips kind of make a mess on pages, but hey, that's part of this journal being so old when that little girl made it, you know. Okay, so this is like math page, a workbook for a math book. Here's an award certificate. Sorry, my voice went away for a minute. Some more opportunity to write. A little tab made out of this eyelet material. Made a pocket out of some Amity Bloom trim. There's Peter Rabbit, the bottom part of Peter Rabbit. Here's an old picture. There's a poem I like to include. And this is an envelope dated, oh golly, can I see that? 19 something, I don't know. Anyway, it's got a complete fat letter in it. So that's for whoever, 1939. Okay, so there's lots of goodies in that little pocket. And that's why this is so stuffed full, because we've just got lots of stuff in here. An old stamp, postage stamp. This is, let's see, this is some ledger paper that I put on top with a rusty staple. Some more of the mulberry paper, and then I've just put some of these round filters, coffee filters. Some old S&H stamps, green stamps. This is wallpaper. I don't know if I mentioned that before. This is some old vintage wallpaper made into a page. And then here's an old card. I think it was maybe Animal Rummy, I think is what it was from. And I like the shape of it. And then just another one of those check receipts. And I made these little page corners that are little tucks, and it wraps around to the other side and tucks here. This is just a word flashcard, Roxy Creations paper here, digital. And then here's a little pink bauble. So there you go. And I wanted to make what looked like a little fabric sample card. And so I put all of these old, what they're supposed to be 1930s replicas of fabrics. I thought the little girl would have liked, oh, okay. And then this has been placed on here. It's an old prescription, but you can flip up and maybe write on the back. And then it would be hidden. It would be a hidden message. And so then I put this old title page from a very, very old book on the back of this pattern book page, and it was just nothing but text on the back. So I put this on here so you could have more writing space. Lilacs, one of my favorites. And there's a pocket here. And there's that funny little image, and then this is a nice little tag with writing space. You can write on the back of that card. And this is an old envelope that, what do you call it? I don't even remember what this is called. So in order to strengthen it, I cut a piece of really strong and heavy cardstock. Excuse me. And it's just sitting in there to help make that strong. Here's an old negative. And it's behind the envelope, glassine envelope. And this original Boy Scouts of America, this is this little girl's brother. However, it says 1974, but it's authentic and it looks well worn. And so it sits inside the glassine bag in front of the heavy duty cardstock. Okay, so then here is a page from a 1931 calendar book, March 1st, and it's the second Sunday in Lent on that particular year. More place to write. Here's more of the arithmetic page, and you can write in the blank spots. Wouldn't that be fun to write something that happened on a certain day? And then here's some Edith Holden book page. And a button card, and I thought the yellow went nicely with these little flowers over here. And here's an old prescription from looks like 1961, and a wild rose card. A little pocket here has some old postage stamps and an old picture here. A little paper doll outfit. Prescriptions here, and I just made a tuck spot out of that pretty little here. And this another one on this side. I just wrapped it around and made a tuck spot. And here's a pocket here with a flesh card, a rose card, and a copy of an old picture of some ladies. Look how they almost dressed alike. They almost had almost the same skirt, and they all have different blouses. But that must have been the style that particular year. Or maybe they belonged to a club. I'm not sure what that was. Here's a pretty little girl. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, I'm back. And here's another little tuck spot here, and this holds, let's see, this is from a book of masterpiece artwork. Isn't that pretty? So it's just a page out of that book. I like to include that now and then. And I put a label up here, a fabric label or a garment label. There's some extra space to write on this side as well. A little tuck spot here holds this picture of these cute little kids. And here's Grandma next to her house. Her name is Lily. It was taken June 7th, 1946. There's another little cloth tab, and it has another cross, and it has what looks like diamonds. And here's a tag and a label down below. Okay, and here is another little tuck spot made from an old ledger page, and I just turned it over on itself and put some of that. It's like this little girl's favorite dress was made out of this material. And here's an old flash card, homemade, and some little, looks like a paper doll with her dresses. Well, her little bloomers and a little skirt, or slip, I should say. That looked like a slip. And here's a page out of, I don't remember what it was, like a counting, yeah, it was like a counting book. So here's 5 little kittens, the number 5, an envelope with a page out of an old, let me see, it's 1877. It was, I think it was the secretary book for a school district. Let me just do this and tuck that back. And there's some paint swatches, a label to write things with or on. Here's another envelope, and it has a Christmas card in it. Here's some more money. There's $100. Green stamp book page, and it opens up, and there's a loose blank check. And that has just been tipped in, that prescription. There's a little extra place to have lines to write on. That pretty lady. And it's a thank you card. And it's been made into a pocket. Another pretty, it's like a prayer card, I think. Yeah, well, no, I think it was, the original was celebrating somebody's 25th year, and I think it was like a sister from a Catholic church. And here's a little flip over. It's an envelope. It has a letter card from a Spellbound game. And then I love this picture of this cat on a sidewalk. And then this is an envelope again, and it holds some more ephemera. Picture of some guy on a riding lawnmower. It looks really old. And he's mowing the Osborne Cemetery. And there's some cards from the game of Rook. They look really well used. They're well loved. Patina is just perfect on them. We'll put the lawnmower guy back in there. Okay. And here's a top tuck, and it has a calling card, or it might be a high school senior, her name card, and then some more score paper for bridge. Here's another top tuck on this ledger paper, and this is a copy of an old, let's see, what was it, from J.P. Coates and Clark. It's the embroidered. I have the original, and I'm just going to keep it nice, and it's a lot bigger, but I shrunk it down to make a nice size little journaling card. And here's $50, so we're up to, gosh, $100,000 and 50 and 100. So wow, you're going to make good money on this one. and some more little cats. Little cat here and a cat here. I love that cat. These are available on my Etsy store too, if you'd like. I'll put a link down below. Another flashcard. And friends and family, boys and girls, moms and dads, we are done with this beautiful journal. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I'm glad to be back. My gosh, it's been a couple months. Anyway, so give me a thumbs up. Do all the things. Subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a comment. I will see you again. Bye now.